All righty. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Transportation, Airports, and Public Works meeting. We're virtual today, obviously, and the goal is to ensure excellent infrastructure that is well maintained and operated. Joining me today is Councilmember Amsalu Kassaw, who is the Vice Chair, and Councilmember Angela Lawson, who is our member. And welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here. We certainly do appreciate your attendance and your attention. First off, we will do the approval of the November 21st, 2024 meetings. Councilmember Lawson, do you have any changes or additions that you need to make to those minutes?
No, I don't. I have no additions or changes and approve them.
Thank you very much. Staff, is there anything that was missed or omitted that should be added at this point? If not, we will approve the minutes and move forward. Thank you very much. That'll take us to our consent items. Do we have anything outside of what we're doing generally today that we need to add to consent?
No, we do not.
No?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yep.
All right, seeing none, let's move on to general business. The first item is item 4A, intergovernmental agreement with Colorado Department of Transportation for the Box Elder Creek roadway erosion and flood protection project resolution. Kathleen?
Yes, thank
Yes.
you, Sam Hancock. I will go ahead and share my screen. So as Sam Hancock mentioned, this is an IGA between CDOT and the City of Aurora for the Box Elder Creek roadway erosion and flood control project. I'm Kathy Valencia, the Transportation Manager in Public Works. Oops. All right, here we go. So this is just an overview of the project. You can see the project area in the top right corner. We are at 56th Avenue and Hudson Road along Box Elder Creek. And in June 2023, the roads were washed out with some severe storms that took place in the area. The roads are currently closed, and you can see the damage that occurred. So the scope of this project is to reconstruct the flood damaged roads. We will be upgrading the roadways to reduce future flooding risks with bank and channel stabilization, vegetation to increase water retention, and additional roadway protection. The schedule is we are currently in design, and that will go through spring of 2026. And then we anticipate construction beginning in the summer of 2026 through the spring of 2027. This is a look at the funding for the agreement. This is a grant that the city received called a Protect Grant, and the grant will be administered by CDOT. Our funding sources listed in the table, the City of Aurora is providing a $3.5 million local match, in addition to the $10.8 million we are receiving for that Protect Grant. The city is also providing maintenance funds in the amount of $3.6 million for a total project cost of $17.9 million. And we also got $850,000 in congressionally directed spending that will be able to count towards our local match, which is great news. This project also includes an agreement with the Federal Highway Administration, which does not need to be executed, but I included that in the package as part of this request. So the question before you today is, does TAPS approve the resolution and intergovernmental agreement between CDOT and City of Aurora to move forward to the next available regular meeting? And I did want to point out that this agreement, we are trying to execute it as quickly as possible under the advice of the Federal Highway Administration. And so we are skipping study session, if that's all right with everyone, and moving straight to the regular meeting on Monday. And then we are seeking a waiver from the reconsideration. Any questions?
Councilmember Lawson, any questions?
I have no questions and I approve it moving forward to the Monday council meeting.
I also approve it moving forward.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Okay, we're clipping right along here. Next, item 4B, recap of the TAPS 2024 and 2025 council focus areas. Michelle Gardner, Assistant City Attorney.
Actually, Cindy
Cindy
is going to
Pollock.
be taking, yep, I'm going to take this one so Michelle doesn't have to worry about it. There you go, Michelle. Great. So every year in Public Works, we like to bring you a list and an overview of what we had done the year before. So you both being very familiar with policy committee know that we look at a lot of different intergovernmental agreements. We bring project updates to you, study updates, etc. So this is just an overview of what we did in 2024. And want to make sure, can you all see my screen? Great. All right, so kind of the agenda, talking just a very high level overview on the purpose of the policy committee, reviewing the 2024 items, give you an update on what's coming in the first quarter, and then also discuss any focus areas you might have as the policy committee, and then of course questions and discussion as needed. So the purpose of the policy committee is to recommend objectives and initiatives in the areas of transportation, airports, and public works. One of the interesting things is the prior policy committee names and also the kind of the organization of them. It was Infrastructure and Operations Policy Committee back in like 2012 to 2015. And if you can imagine, it was combined with Aurora Water. So that was a very high, very busy policy committee. So a little bit of division since then. And then it became the Parks, Public Works, and Transportation Policy Committee, and then has morphed into our TAPS Policy Committee that we know now. So just kind of starting through last year over month by month, we did this overview last year as well. As you can see, we had many IGAs for your approval, most of them for the funding components so that we could finish the design for both 13th Avenue, getting the design for Gun Club multimodal projects, the Peoria Bridge replacement over Sand Creek, which now we've applied for a RAISE grant for that project as well. Also looking at options for Alameda Avenue Bridge replacement, also supported by CDOT with that funding and that IGA. They have contributed funding as well. We also, Carly's team partnered with Adams County to do a safety action plan study, not only for our portion in Adams County, but overall throughout the city, so that we can position ourselves for future safety fundings as well. And then we have partnered with the Aurora Highlands and E470 on maintenance of the 38th Avenue Bridge at E470. We last year got a little tight, so we had 2 policy committees in February. And as you all are very familiar, we have our multimodal transportation plan, bringing that through the policy committee numerous times. So the first one was in February with our kickoff, and then also the very important roadway maintenance program, which includes all of the paving and the concrete work that we do ahead, and then the paving projects that we do. And as you know, getting those neighborhood streets in many of the areas back into that program, which is super exciting. Again, in March, we made progress on connecting Aurora, brought another update. Also updated you on one of our most popular programs, the Neighborhood Traffic Calming Program in 2024. Did an overview based on some of the speeding concerns that we see throughout the city to look at street sections and some potential speed reduction strategies. And again, another intergovernmental agreement, this time for maintenance responsibilities for I-70 and Aerotropolis Parkway interchange project. In April and May, we have the Parker Quincy Smoky Hill project, which is going to be going to construction here this year. So we gave you a project update on the status of that as we were progressing to our final design. And then we also brought forward a resolution to adopt an overall fiber optic master plan, which we have coordinated with Aurora Water and IT, and also within Public Works. This is really going to give us an opportunity to improve some of the services throughout the city, even including our traffic signal system when we can get onto fiber. Again, another Connecting Aurora update, mostly around the public engagement and also the work we did with stakeholders, and another operations and maintenance plan for 68th Avenue with the City and County of Denver. In June, we also had a few more IGAs. These really lying around our traffic signal equipment upgrade, tying that back to our fiber optic master plan, another Connecting Aurora update to keep you all informed of what we were hearing from the community as we got through the engagement process. Another IGA for operations and maintenance related to 48th Avenue near E470. And then also we worked with the town of Parker. We have a small segment of roadway that is more adjacent to Parker than it is to to Aurora right now. So we have an agreement with them and they're taking the snow removal and street sweeping, continuing that for us for a few more years. In July, we did an overview on how traffic control review and approvals get processed, and also talked about some increases to the lane use fees associated with the traffic control review and approvals. Another intergovernmental agreement, this one, Arapahoe County brought dollars to the table for the Gun Club multimodal improvement project, that final design piece that we're going in on with right now. In August, again, more on the communications and traffic signal side for Carly's team and IGA so that we could upgrade our infrastructure. Also getting the initial baseline for setting up a traffic management center project for the city. This will be our first foray into that, so that's very exciting. And then about a year ago, we hired an ADA coordinator. It might have been a year and a half. And so Carlin Shore brought an update on the American with Disabilities Act and how that functions with the public right of way. In September, we brought a fiber and alternative installation options update related to some of the different alternatives of fiber installation that have been proposed in many locations, also called microtrenching. The Shared Micromobility Program update, that is an Arapahoe County led project. They have not quite gotten it kicked off yet with CDOT. They're waiting for some paperwork and coordination to complete with CDOT. And then that will be a project that we will be partnering with Arapahoe County on, committing funding along with some other cities in the Arapahoe County. We brought forward a local match program application, the DOLA program, so that we could utilize those funds for some of our other grant projects that we have been pursuing. October, we brought forward another maintenance IGA, this time for 64th Avenue with E470 and ourselves. And then also brought you a 9-mile pedestrian bridge update on where that project is, going into the redesign with a ramp configuration. And we will also be bringing updates on that later this year. November, we looked working with the Aurora Public School District, helping them with a Turn Island project. So obviously, whenever we have funds that change hands, we always have to have the IGAs. So another one of those. An intergovernmental agreement with RTD. Also, we brought you our Northwest Aurora Alley Paving Program update. We've been chipping away at those alleys for about 25 years now. So it's exciting to have committed funding that is making a lot of progress. And again, another IGA for maintenance, this out in Southeast Aurora, basically on the Arapahoe County, Douglas County, Elbert County line. And this is related to maintenance for County Line Road out in that area. All right, so that was an overview of last year. Maybe I'll pause there and make sure there are no questions, and then we can get into the anticipated items for 2025.
Councilmember Lawson, do you have any questions?
I have no questions. I guess I'll wait until you get into the anticipated items before I ask a question on something. So, but no questions. This is great. This committee has always done a lot of great things, and this is a lot of stuff that has been done. So very, very pleased with everything that you brought forward and that we have done in the committee. Thank you, Ms.
Yes,
Chair.
I concur. I do have a question too. I'll wait until you're done, Cindy,
Okay,
okay?
great, no problem. So in February, we have our 2025 roadway infrastructure maintenance program coming to you. Again, that will be the concrete work that we do ahead of the actual paving program. And we've got the areas selected right now, coordinated with Aurora Water. We'll be refining that, making sure that everything is buttoned up, and then we'll be moving forward with not only the concrete work, but the paving program as well. So we'll give you an update on that. We are also going to bring you a Connecting Aurora update. A lot of progress has been made over the last few months. So kind of let you know where we're at now as far as the modeling effort that they're going through. There is an intersection called Piccadilly and Plains Parkway. It's out near Tallgrass, just south of Hampton and Piccadilly. We have an IGA with Arapahoe County because that intersection does meet traffic signal warrants. So we're partnering with them on the design and construction for that signal. We're going to also bring an update from Jacob Cox and his team, not only on the fiber standard operating procedures, but where that process is, give you an update on those alternative installations that we've been chatting with you about and some of the different providers. There is a Parker Road corridor implementation update that will be coming to you. Arapahoe County led project. And they've been making some progress. So our planning department will be bringing you an update on that study and where it's at. And then we anticipate that we will also have 3 IGAs with the South Aurora Regional Improvement Authority for Gartrell Road for the construction. Aurora Parkway, finishing the design and construction for that project, and then a little bit of funding to go towards the Gun Club Road, final design and construction at a future time as well. And then in March, to round out the quarter, we are looking at the traffic folks bringing a neighborhood traffic calming update, looking at a 5-year, what did it look like before and what have we seen? So that before and after study at this 5-year mark, we think is important to see how this has supported or different changes that we might need to make in the program. We have been working very closely and successful at getting federal funding with DRCOG for some of our missing sidewalk areas. So Kathy's team in Transportation Project Delivery have been working very hard to identify and help kind of prioritize what those high priority areas are of missing sidewalk. So we're going to bring that forward to you so that you can review and comment on the approach that we're taking. It's very much tied to DRCOG and the criteria that they look at. And it is a continuation of the missing sidewalk program that we've already been successful with DRCOG getting funding on. In March, we're going to be bringing the financial analysis results as a part of the Connecting Aurora update. And you'll see moving through the year, when we bring you a Connecting Aurora update now, it's going to be much more streamlined or specific as to what the item is. So we'll be doing financial analysis results in March. In May, you're going to see another specific topic related to Connecting Aurora. And then finally, we will be bringing the 9-mile pedestrian CDOT funding IGA so that we can get that going to construction and finish our design. Some of the other anticipated items, we've obviously got the Colfax Bus Rapid Transit project, working with Denver on that. We'll be bringing an update for that project. More IGAs will be coming your way. We're working hard to get funding where we can and spend other people's money. We'll also be bringing proposed applications for some of that IIJA opportunities. We always want to update you every year on the truck route map so that we make sure we've got the trucks on the arterials that they are supposed to be on. Another neighborhood traffic calming update, just for where the progress is made for 2024 and 2025. And then are very important towards the end of the year, the snow and ice control plan obviously will be coming to this committee as well. So with that, I did have the note about talking about your focus items for 2025 and then opening it for questions and discussion.
Wow, that was really comprehensive there, Cindy.
Thank you.
You don't think about how much activity we have until we look at it in writing. I mean, we have been, I mean, you guys, staff and this committee has been humping and bumping. I mean, there's lots that we've been accomplishing, and I'm very excited about the IGAs that we've been able to pull through to help us manage some of these projects. Councilmember Lawson.
Yes, thank you, Chair Hancock. So Cindy, thank you for this. There is one thing that I would like for the committee to consider, and it's not just because it's in my ward. I think it's going to be very impactful. As I had a town hall HOA last Thursday, I would like to maybe have updates as needed about the Parker Road to Quincy construction that's going to happen. That's going to be very impactful for anybody who has to go up Smoky Hill, who has to go up to Quincy. I don't, it impacts everyone. Ward 4. So I would like for that to be considered because that's going to be pretty impactful. So I would like, as updates come, if that could be like something that it could be a maybe miscellaneous or something, but that's a very important project. I know it's in a design phase, but it is going to be very impactful in terms of how, people are going to have to maneuver through these corridors.
Agreed.
So Chair Hancock, I would like for that to be considered just maybe as a standing item. If there's nothing on it, then we can move forward. But I think it's really important because it crosses our wards as well up into Ward
Agreed.
6. So
Agreed. Agreed. I think that's a really good idea. Thanks for that suggestion. Because yes, certainly we will be getting a lot of communication as this thing gets underway. And so it's good if we get ahead of it so folks can anticipate what kind of adjustments they're going to have to make. I would like to see us take more look at traffic calming along the corridors, particularly in my ward. I get a lot of emails about what's going on up and down Florida and Mexico, and the speeding. Again, that's a continuing issue that we have all over the city with drag racing and such. And what in the established areas like Ward 4 and 5, it's not likely we're going to get roundabouts installed. Okay. But we've got to figure out some other way to mitigate the traffic issue and the racing that's going on these major thoroughfares. So if we could look at that and just some kind of innovative solutions that we can explore and see what we can do. I got some emails recently in some of the areas where we're seeing a lot of congestion in terms of construction along Dayton, from Dayton to Havana on Jewel and Florida. There, it seems that people are parking on both sides of the street there. And I don't know if that's a parking issue or what, but there's got to be a way that we can mitigate the congestion and the cars that are there. And I'm not even really sure what I'm asking in terms of what transportation can do, but it is somehow a way to the corridor is very clogged as a result of what's going on over by where Potter's house used to be, where they're building those new homes. It's starting to be an issue right up and down Florida there. So let's see if we can get our arms around what we can do to ease the congestion over in that area. Like Quincy and Parker and those areas, I mean, I get a lot of feedback as to folks' heartburn around those areas. So if we could just look at that, that would be helpful.
And then Chair Hancock, just in addition to the traffic calming, I know that this committee doesn't deal with development. I'm not trying to have that in there, but as East Bank is going to start moving possibly towards construction this summer with traffic calming, I really would like to have an update from our traffic calming about things that are going to mitigate, that may happen in this area. I really want to be proactive instead of reactive, because if there's a stoplight that needs to be there, and I know this is in development, but this has something to do with transportation. In this area, with that much density that is going to go there, that's going to be an issue that's going to have some issues. So I would like to be proactive instead of reactive to something. So if we could kind of keep abreast of how within traffic calming, as this big development is going to go up pretty soon. I heard maybe late this summer, just to how we can try to mitigate or look at some things that might help with that traffic pattern in and around Parker Road, Quincy, in that Pier 1, out just around that whole area by the racquetball of
Racket Club.
development and Rapid Club and stuff, all of that. So because all that's gonna, when we do that development, when we do that road configuration that's gonna go into Quincy, how is that gonna mitigate? So it's all tied together. So I
Yep.
think that's just really important. So I just wanted to add that in there as well.
I agree. I agree. It's important for us to be proactive, especially with these new developments, because we will certainly hear it as people start to be impacted by these changes. So thank you very much. Um, is there anything else around this other than the things we've already thrown on your plate there, Cindy?
There are not, nope, and just taking notes. So
Thank
thank
you.
you
We
for your
appreciate
time.
that. Appreciate that. Thank you very much for all the hard work that you've done in getting this together. I mean, it's wow. Our city is growing and there's lots going on. And in terms of our traffic and infrastructure and public works, this is what we do. We want to make sure that things run smoothly and that to the extent that we can be involved and mitigate some of these anticipated obstructions, constructions, and interruptions. Let's be about that. I think it's really good, and I applaud what the team is doing, what staff is doing to make this move forward. Let me see. Was there anything else? Do we have any miscellaneous matters for consideration?
Chair Hancock, if I may.
Yes.
So the city is moving forward with a raise grant application for Montview Boulevard. The application is due on January 30th, so 7 days away. And as part of the capital funding plan for that, we will be pursuing a request to DOLA to seek funds to support our capital match for the grant. The requirement for DOLA is that City Council approves a resolution of support for the application. And due to timing, I just wanted to make the committee aware that with Chair Hancock's support, we are going to be bringing that directly to the floor on Monday for everyone's consideration on council. We have named the Montview project the Better Montview Mobility Project. Mac, did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Okay, good. Just make sure nothing changed as we're getting crafty on drafting our application. And so that is a real game changer for the Fitzsimmons campus. It will provide much needed pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure to provide more safety and better enhancements for Montview, as it's a main thoroughfare through the campus. So lots of excitement and support for that project. We're putting the finishing touches on the grant application and hopefully look forward to council support on Monday for that resolution so that we can continue our quest to seek funds to offset what the city's obligation would be.
Yep. Yes, I remember we spoke about this one. That's fantastic. And Councilmember Lawson, any questions with regards to that?
No questions.
Okay, so we will be bringing this forward at council meeting on Monday so we can move forward because, as you said, we want to get these intergovernmental agreements going and
Yes.
spend those money. So we're here for it. Thank you very much for your work there, Laura. Appreciate it. let's see, anticipated topics for next meeting, the CDOT funding, the Westerly Creek Toll Gate project, the high priority missing sidewalk program, we talked about that, and the Parker Road Corridor implementation update. So we'll be discussing those at the next meeting, which we will have on the 20th of February at 11 a.m., correct?
Yes.
Yes, yes. I actually got the date right this time. Sometimes I struggle. But yes, thank you very much. Do we have anything that we need to add to those anticipated topics for the next meeting that you want to share right now?
It is actually in the presentation that I did, so I will get that updated for you as part of the
Okay.
meeting minutes. I think the
Okay.
ones that are showing now might slide to March. But we
Okay.
will be doing the roadway maintenance program for 2025, connecting Aurora, the Piccadilly and Plains IGA, a fiber alternative installation update, and then some IGAs. So we'll get that updated for you as part of the meeting minutes.
Fantastic. And I know that Jacob reached out to me
Yes.
regarding
Yeah.
micro trenching. Okay, wanted to make
Yep.
sure that will be included in the next meeting,
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
because
Yes.
I'm really anxious to see that get underway, because I think it's a great program, but I'm looking forward to hearing more of what you've come up with and the solutions so that we can move forward with those projects. So, okay, so is there anything else that we have forgotten? Any additions? Fantastic. Well, seeing none, then we will have our next meeting on February 20th at 11 a.m. It will also be a virtual meeting. Seeing nothing else, I will give you the rest of your 29 minutes. Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone. Have a spectacular day.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye-bye
Bye-bye.
now.